Batman is one of the most influential and iconic superheroes of all time. His silhouette is unmistakable, his gadgets legendary, and his story is unforgettable. However, a famous character isn't simply famous all by themselves. They've got to have a wicked cast of supporting characters, foils, and rivals in order to really pop. And while the cast of Batman is also quite famous, with villains often garnering as much attention as the Bat himself, there's always got to be something new. There is no progress without ingenuity. Lately, there's been quite a lot going on in the world of Batman, and plenty of new faces have burst onto the scene. So let's talk about the top 10 newest Batman characters you need to know about. Coming in at number 10, we've got Vengeance. Bane has been a mainstay in the Batman universe for years. Making many appearances in plenty of different forms, this super strong mask-wearing baddie is widely credited with being the only villain to properly break Batman, both physically and mentally. That's a tall order, especially considering how tough Batman usually is in both these categories. Whether we're looking at Tom Hardy's portrayal or maybe the Bane in Infinite Crisis, he uses his superior intelligence, willpower, and brute strength to bring his plans to fruition. So, of course, his offspring would be similarly powerful, with plenty to offer the stories of Arkham. Enter Vengeance, Bane's wiry, wildly powerful daughter. Appearing first in The Joker number 2, she appears to be looking to kill the clown prince of crime after a heinous attack that came to be known as the A-Day Joker gas attack. This chemical killing spree took out all sorts of folks in Arkham Asylum, and the friends and family of these famous villains were none too happy. Vengeance, living up to her name, has decided that she will be the one to exact revenge upon Joker, and heads out to find him. Just as strong as her father in pretty much all capacities, there isn't much that would stop her from completing her mission. In fact, she single-handedly wipes out an armed personal army while hunting for the green-haired menace. There is one little thing though. Joker claims he didn't pull off the gas attack. Chilling in Belize, Joker is unsure who would do such a thing, but says it definitely wasn't him. So this progeny of Bane, also apparently born in a lab, fueled by rage and powerful muscles, is on a bit of a wild goose chase. Even if she kills the Joker, she won't have the revenge she imagined. Plus, there's always the other mission of finding out who actually managed to gas Arkham Asylum. Vengeance is a straightforward and deadly force, and should be a lot of fun to follow as things develop. Coming in number 9, we've got Clownhunter. Another fanatical Joker hater, Clownhunter gets his name from his goal. Pretty straightforward, eh? He wants Joker dead, and he wants to ensure this is done by his hands. Clownhunter, aka Bao Fam. He hunts clowns. Why though? What would drive a young man to committing his life to killing a clown? Sure, Joker's done plenty of heinous things in his lifetime, but that's almost a given of living in Arkham City. Wouldn't most people like to figure out a way to live productive lives, even with the chaos turning in the background? Well, things are personal when it comes to Clownhunter and his supposed prey. As a child, he witnessed Joker kill his parents in cold blood and then run off cackling into the night, as Joker tends to do, of course. With this traumatic experience, Clownhunter was committed to a life of hating Joker. He also came to believe that Batman simply wasn't doing enough to deal with this moron society. Joker kept killing innocent people and was always allowed to live afterwards. Even if he were to be imprisoned, restrained, or otherwise removed from society, he'd make his return in one way or another. So Clownhunter decided that Joker needed to die. Batman was too lax with him, and so were the rest of the crime fighters in Arkham. Armed with a batarang-tipped baseball bat, Clownhunter killed something like a dozen of Joker's henchmen and even planned on killing Harley Quinn. Somehow, someway, Batman sniffs this out and attempts to reason with the kid. This doesn't stop another vigilante getting involved and encouraging Clownhunter down the path of violence though. Coming in at number 8, we've got Flatline. Another character named after what they do, Flatline will stop your heart from beating. She'll do it in a particularly gruesome way, too. Known for ripping people's hearts out barehanded, she's a legendary martial artist with a brutal streak. Hell, she even did it to Robin during what can only be described as a Mortal Kombat tournament. Interestingly enough, the rules of the tournament allowed Robin to be resurrected, but that's neither here nor there. After training all her life under some of the world's finest martial artists, she was ready to bring her own story. Heading to the island to win a tournament that was said to grant immortality, she stood head and shoulders above the rest of the combatants. Appearing as an ashen-skinned woman with an affinity for black skeleton-themed clothing, she doesn't seem like the type to mercilessly kill countless top-tier fighters, but she does it anyway and does so with a smile. Coming in at number 7, we've got Punchline. From Flatline to Punchline, we've got a fun little segment here. These two characters don't share much besides suffixes though. Punchline is something like a Harley Quinn stand-in, although there is more to her than that. After Joker and Harley had another one of their famous arguments, they split. This time it seemed pretty permanent, so Joker looked for a new second in command. In this search, he found Alexis K. She dons the requisite clown makeup, but isn't really one for jokes. Cold, cruel, and exacting, she is somewhat of a Harley inverse. In preparation for the Joker War, she oversaw the stealing of Batman's funds from offshore accounts. She beat up Harley Quinn and stabbed Catwoman, leaving her for dead. Holy moly, she really is all business. Coming in at number 6, we've got Simon Saint. What's a good story without an esoteric billionaire calling the shots from the shadows? There's always room for more well-moneyed lunatics causing doom and gloom, especially in the era we're all living in. I'm sure there's no real-world comparisons to be made here. No way. Simon Saint is a man with a plan, and that plan is to introduce a fascist police force to the city that he would have total control over. Sure, he's trying to sell it as a partnership to Mayor Nakano, but we all know who the real leader would be. Saint Industries wants to kickstart this militaristic police force known as the Magistrate, complete with robotic officers known as peacekeepers and remote drones to keep people in line. All under the guise of making sure everyone is safe, right? To really sell this idea to the mayor and the public, Saint secretly employs some folks to put fear into the heart of every civilian. A very familiar scaremonger shows up to help too, which is never a good sign. Coming in at number 5, we've got Peacekeeper 01. Let's quickly dive into this private army Simon Saint seems to be putting together for a second. There will be plenty of nameless, faceless automatons forcing the people of the city into line, but there's also got to be some extra special leaders, right? For that, there's Peacekeeper 01, one of the first sheriffs sent up by the Magistrate. This one in particular is a wicked strong augmented human, one who Batman readers have indeed met before. Does the name Sean Mahoney ring a bell? He was once a guard at Arkham Asylum, and a brutal one at that. But for a while there was no way for him to get back to work. He was the one who discovered the dead body of Bane, killed by Joker gas, and also went back to rescue some nurses, losing limbs in the process. However, Simon Saint offered him a whole new life with some prosthetic limbs to boot. All he has to do is lead the all-powerful Magistrate police force in their mission to totally take over the city. Who's gonna say no to an offer like that? Coming in at number 4, we've got the Gardner. Much more dangerous than her name suggests, this green-thumbed villain has roots deep within Batman's lore. Introduced as an eco-terrorist who will do anything to keep the world as green as possible. If doing so requires the use of weird plant-animal hybrids and destructive attacks upon important areas, so be it. Interestingly enough, this villain has connections to another plant-based Batman rival. You guessed it, the Gardner has a history with poison ivy. In fact, the two dated in college. Imagine that. These photosynthesis enthusiasts have quite a lot in common. Add in the fact that the Gardner knows about Poison Ivy's transformation that will make her into Queen Ivy, and you've got a very interesting new addition. Coming in at number 3, we've got Squeak. A member of the fascinating new group, the Unsanity Collective, Squeak is but a child. Following in the footsteps of Miracle Molly, she is a cybernetically enhanced human with a lot of spunk and gusto. This group is constantly targeted by the Magistrate, who are looking to scapegoat some organizations in their mission to create a police state. Squeak makes for a fun sidekick and a very sympathetic character. She's just trying to make it in a world that is very cold and unkind. And when Peacekeeper 01 and the Magistrate show up to take out Miracle Molly, she's caught in the crossfire. This interplay creates some very hard decisions for Batman and his allies, and leads the story in fascinating directions. While she's not the most powerful or influential character, a lot of the story moving forward hinges on this pink-haired individual. Coming in at number 2, we've got Miracle Molly. Searching for a way to live life beyond the means of what most would consider sane, this green-haired so-called criminal founded the Unsanity Collective. A group meant to allow civilians to live their lives without the weight of their past trauma, it develops technology that flies in the face of the Magistrate. Molly is the brains behind the operation, building and distributing gadgets and tools to all of her followers. Although their goals are noble, they go about their plans in ways deemed unacceptable by the powers that be, which causes a whole lot of problems, as you might imagine. However, Batman infiltrates the collective to find out more and discovers how genuine and committed Miracle Molly is. Although their actions are criminal, their hearts are in the right place. The Magistrate and in turn Peacekeepers don't like this. An enemy of an enemy becomes a friend, and Batman joins the fight in an unpredictable way thanks to the influence of Miracle Molly. And finally at number 1, we've got Ghostmaker. Oh damn. This vigilante trained with pretty much all of these same people Batman trained with, and rivaled the Cape Crusader all throughout his life. There is one major difference, however. Ghostmaker is willing to kill. In fact, sometimes Ghostmaker believes that killing is sort of an art form while fighting crime. He's all about the art when it comes to dealing with criminal elements, which is a very interesting way to go about it. His values clash with the Bat's quite often, spurring on many fights between the two. However, when a bigger threat emerges, it becomes clear that the two vigilantes must team up or be defeated. Plenty of new storylines to follow, lots of great new characters. So what'd you think of the list? Agree with my picks? Who is the best new Batman character going? Make sure you let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.